Delhi. You're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Preeti Kaur. Coming up in the next 30 minutes, Indian Navy deploys indigenous guided missile destroyers in Gulf of Aden region in view of recent piracy incident. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says fighting will not stop until victory. UNSC vote on urgent humanitarian pauses in Gaza further delayed till Friday. Day of mourning declared in Czech Republic after gunman kills 14 in an unprecedented attack at Prague University. And in sports, India beat South Africa by 78 runs to seal the ODI series 2-1. Arshdeep Singh takes 4 wickets for India. Aiming at augmenting the anti-piracy efforts in the Gulf of Aden region, Indian Navy has deployed indigenous guided missile destroyer in the region. In a swift response to December 14th incident, the Indian Navy Maritime Patrol aircraft deployed to investigate the incident on board a Malta-flagged vessel, MV Ruin, and establish communication with all the 18 crew members. Concurrently, INS Kochi on an anti-piracy patrol was also diverted immediately to render assistance. India's southern state of Tamil Nadu is expected to witness more downpour after heavy monsoon rains brought deadly flash floods and submerged the entire neighborhood earlier this week. Met Department has forecast further heavy rains in parts of the state from Sunday that will run into Monday. The downpour occurred as the state reels from the aftermath of cyclone Mibjong, which battered Tamil Nadu earlier this month. Indian Navy helicopter flew 7 sorties and airdropped 3.2 tons of relief material in the inaccessible flood-affected areas. The deluge had weakened since December 18th, with conditions improving for rescue crew. India's northeast monsoon usually runs from October to December, bringing heavy rains, particularly to the south. Security forces on Friday launched a massive search operation a day after 4 army personnel attained martyrdom and 2 others got injured following a terror strike in India's Union territory of Jammu and Kashmir. The terrorists had ambushed an army convoy from a hilltop at Surankot in the Poonch district of Jammu and Kashmir on Thursday. They attacked the army vehicle, which slowed down at a blind curve. The attack, which appeared to be a well-planned operation, was the 4th major ambush in twin border districts of Rajouri and Poonch this year, in which 20 army soldiers lost their lives. Ramesh Raina joins us with more from Jammu on phone line. Ramesh, spell out more details, get us the latest on the investigation. We tell our viewers that security forces have launched a search operation.
Yesterday there was an attack on this army vehicles. 2 army vehicles. They were ambushed by the 2 hiding terrorists, and in which 4 army jawans lost their lives. They attained martyrdom, and 2 army jawans got injured. And today, security forces, they have launched a massive cordon search operations in the area. And some helicopters have been, aerial monitoring is also being conducted, and you know that sniffer dogs, they are also being placed into service to track down these hiding terrorists who had ambushed these army vehicles. And I tell you that GOC 16 Corps, Lieutenant General Sandeep Jain, he is also he's on way to Poonch, where he will take a stock of the security situation following the yesterday's attack. Preeti, you know, this area, this is a mountainous area, and it is having very dense forests. And there are reports that a group of about 3 to 4 terrorists, they were hiding on a, they were standing on a hilltop, and while this army was going towards Dera Ki Gali. Actually, day before yesterday, army had received some reports about the presence of some terrorists there. So anti-terrorist organization movement was going there. Security force, they had some search operations there, and they had requested some more army personnel towards that area. and these hiding terrorists, they were on the hilltop, and they just ambushed these two army vehicles in which these our army personnel, they were sitting, and they were moving towards that coordinate search operation area.
All right, Ramesh, also we tell our viewers that this seemed to be a well-planned operation, and this was the fourth major ambush in the twin border districts of Rajouri and Poonch this year. Can we get more as to how many terrorists were there? Have any details on the investigations been spelled out?
There are reports that yesterday and even today morning I talked to this defense spokesperson. They are saying that about 3 to 4 terrorists, maybe there may be some foreign terrorists who may be putting up there, who may have sneaked into this site. They are saying that it can be 3 to 4 these foreign terrorists who have ambushed this, who have attacked this army vehicles. Yesterday after this attack, it was around 3:45 p.m. Yesterday afternoon. Immediately after that, this cordon and the search operations have been launched in the area, and let us see what happens. But immediately, even today morning also, that helicopters they were first serviced. Aerial monitoring is also being conducted, and to track down these hiding terrorists who are believed to be behind this attack. So, and I tell you, this is the fourth major attack on the army this year in this twin border district of Rajouri, which we have lost our 20 brave soldiers, including 2 captains also. So this is a well-planned, I think, attack by these terrorists. And before this attack, there are reports that they have conducted a major recce of this area, and after that, they have conducted this attack on the army vehicles.
All right, Ramesh, thank you so much for joining in with those details. That was our correspondent, Ramesh Raina, joining us from Jammu, spelling out more details on the search and rescue operations that are being conducted after the ambush was reported yesterday. We'll keep you updated. Meanwhile, let's turn focus to COVID updates from the country. India had asked states and union territories to be on alert and maintain constant vigil amidst an uptick in the COVID cases. The Indian Health Ministry urged people to stay cautious but not to panic. There will be no restrictions on travel at present, and no travel advisory will be issued as of now. Masks will also not be made compulsory yet. In the past 2 weeks, 23 people who died due to COVID already had serious illnesses. JN1 variant is a subtype of the virus. Across India, a transformative movement is gaining momentum. The Viksit Bharat Sankalp Yatra, the largest ever outreach initiative of Government of India, is bringing the promise of empowerment and a brighter future to the doorsteps of all Indians. The Viksit Bharat Sankalp Yatra completes 30 days and reaches Mathura in the Indian state of Uttar Pradesh. The Yatra witnessed enthusiastic participation of locals. It has reached a milestone of over 4 crore participants in less than a month. Youth and women are actively engaged in the campaign, availing direct benefits of various schemes. Also, to make air travel a hassle-free experience for passengers, especially during security checks at airports, the Indian government is continuously upgrading the security infrastructure and using advanced digital technologies in the field of civil aviation. Now, DigiYatra, which provides for seamless and hassle-free experience to passengers at airports using biometric-based identity verification through facial recognition technology, is now available at 13 airports across the country. Using the DigiYatra app, passengers can simply check into airports, even without a boarding pass, by looking at security cameras, which identifies individuals based on Aadhaar card or social security database and allows instant access through security checkpoints. To avail the facility, air travellers need to register on the DigiYatra app. The facility, which is now available at airports including Delhi, Bengaluru, Varanasi, Hyderabad, Kolkata, Pune, will be extended to other cities across India soon in a phased manner. And now we'll get you the latest developments in Pakistan, where Islamabad police has released all women protesters after 26 hours of detention on the 28th day of the movement against Baloch genocide. Despite the release of all the female protesters, concerns linger as over 200 male activists remain in police custody. And now we take a look at other stories from India that are making it to the headlines. The registration of youth on Mela Yuva Bharat, that is My Bharat portal, has crossed 2.2 million. The portal, set up by Government of India for development of youth in the age group of 15 to 29 years. The platform connects youth with programs and learning opportunities in businesses, government departments and non-profit organizations. 18th Oali National Crafts Mela in Indian state of Odisha attracts thousands of visitors every day. This annual extravaganza serves as a platform to showcase the rich cultural heritage of India's traditional art and craft. Craftsmen from more than 20 states and more than 600 stalls are participating. The construction work of India's first high-speed railway test track is going on in full swing. With its construction, the country will be able to provide testing facility of international standards in the field of railways. This dedicated test track is likely to be ready by October 2024. Railway says that with the completion of this track project, India will be the first country to have comprehensive testing facilities as per international standards for rolling stock. The preparation for inauguration of Ram Temple and the consecration ceremony are on in full swing. A fiber-made sun god riding on 7 horses will be installed on the main road of the temple. In Hindu tradition, Surya, the sun god, is often depicted as driving a chariot drawn by 7 horses. This symbolism is associated with the 7 colors of the rainbow and the 7 days of the week. And up next, we're heading for a short break on DD India Live. But after we come back, we'll tell you how Eurotunnel ends the strike, cross-channel traffic to resume gradually after major disruptions. Crude prices dip by over 1.5% after Angola makes a shock announcement of leaving OPEC. And the European Union's top court comes down heavily on soccer bodies, FIFA and UEFA. Stay with us to know why.
India that invents. India that innovates. India that excites. India that invites. Land of possibility. Teeming with opportunities. Watch India Ideas each Thursday, 8 p.m. only on DD India.
Welcome back after the break. You're watching DD India Live and I'm Preeti. We'll continue getting more international updates for you. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on Thursday said that Israel's military operation in Gaza will not stop until it achieves its goals. Netanyahu said that Israeli forces would fight until Hamas was destroyed and all the remaining hostages taken by Hamas terrorists on October 7th were released.
We are fighting until victory. We'll not stop the war until we achieve all its goals, destroying Hamas and releasing all our hostages. What I suggest for Hamas is very simple: surrender or die. They will not have any other choice. And after we destroy Hamas, I will do everything in my power to ensure that Gaza does not pose a threat to Israel.
Israel's chief military spokesperson has meanwhile said that the military continue to deepen their ground incursions in northern and southern Gaza. Rear Admiral Daniel Hagari said an increased number of forces were deployed in eastern Khan Yunis, where fighting was focused on forcing terrorists out of underground tunnels.
We increased the number of combatants in eastern Khan Yunis and we are operating there with determination with 5 infantry units and broad engineering forces with a focus on underground fighting to remove the terrorists, to wait for them above ground and fight them when they come out and to get Hamas out of this territory. UN Security Council diplomats further delayed until Friday a vote
on a resolution to increase humanitarian aid into Gaza. Now, the UN vote was delayed despite the United States saying it can now support an amended proposal that would demand that Israel and Hamas allow the use of all available routes for humanitarian deliveries. An 8-day-long humanitarian pause that started on November 24th helped to increase aid deliveries to Gaza. The pause led to the release of more than 100 hostages held by Hamas since October 7th, and in exchange, 240 Palestinians were freed from Israeli jails. All right, shifting focus to Russia-Ukraine war now. A mass Russian drone attack hit different districts of Kyiv on Thursday night, with Mayor Vitaly Klitschko and other officials reporting strikes on widely separated residential districts. It was the 6th drone attack on the capital this month. At least 2 people were injured. Klitschko said a drone had hit a block of flats in the Solomonesky district in the center of Ukrainian capital, triggering a fire. Head of Kyiv's military administration, Serhiy Popko, reported fragments from a downed drone had struck an apartment building in Holosivsky district that was in south of the city center. Pictures posted by Kyiv military administration showed smashed windows and heavy damage to the apartments. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said on Thursday that Ukraine was receiving signals that Russia's military planning and activity was slowing. In his nightly video address, Zelensky said that this was noted in a report issued by the HUR Military Intelligence Directorate.
Today there was a separate report from the HUR Military Intelligence Directorate. The enemy's plans, the work of the Russian defense. There are signals indicating a slowdown. We will continue to support their slowdown.
Hungary believes allocating 50 billion euros to Ukraine from within the EU budget over 5 years is a bad decision. Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban said on Thursday a sensible timeline should be set for any financing for Ukraine. Speaking at a press conference, Orban highlighted Hungary's proposal to provide assistance outside the EU budget via a joint loan, but would not approve the use of existing funds. EU leaders plan to revisit the issue at an emergency summit on February 1st. Orban also denied any Hungarian-Turkish agreement on NATO membership of Sweden. He added the decision lies on the Hungarian parliament, which doesn't have a great willingness to make this decision.
I am convinced that to give Ukraine 15 billion euros from the EU budget for 5 years in which there is no money for this, and by taking out a loan, that's a bad decision. Instead, let's make a good decision, which is the Hungarian proposal. They want to give the money to Ukraine from inside the EU budget. Hungary wants to give it outside the EU budget. They have the possibility, if we don't agree on this, to resolve this outside the budget, but don't have the option of resolving this from the EU budget without Hungarian approval. They have the possibility, 26 members, to resolve this with a joint loan outside the budget. If this comes up, we will consider what we say.
Ukrainian Finance Minister Serhiy Marchenko on Thursday said that Ukraine will need to increase its domestic market borrowing to get through January-February 2024 because of lack of financial support from partners. Apart from borrowing, this includes advance payments of state-owned companies' dividends. Marchenko was quoted as saying 2025 would also bring challenges, but that he did not believe it was wise to start tightening the screws and taking measures now to minimize those risks. Up next, we get you an update on the headline story we are tracking here at DD India News Hour. Mass shooting at a Prague university campus on Thursday left 14 people dead, while several others injured in the unprecedented incident. The gunman was also found dead at the shooting site. DD India's Ross Cullen gets us more details from Paris.
Well, armed police were deployed to the area in and around the famous Charles University in downtown Prague. It's one of the oldest universities in the world and just a short walk from the landmark Charles Bridge in the centre of the Czech capital. There were videos purportedly showing the gunman dressed in all black and aiming a weapon over the side of a balcony, police confirming that he had been eliminated, in their words, but not before those confirmed fatalities. Other videos showing students sheltering high up on the side of a building on a narrow ledge just underneath a balcony. And there was an email circulated to staff and students at the university, which was seen by the Reuters news agency, urging everyone to shelter in place, stay in your rooms and offices, lock the doors, place furniture in front of the doors, and turn the lights off. Other footage showing hundreds of people fleeing the university and thousands running away in the centre of the Czech capital. This is a very busy time of year for Prague, which has lots of festive markets, which are very popular, and that shooting coming just 4 days before Christmas. In Paris, Ross Cullen reporting for DD India.
The Czech Republic has declared a day of mourning across the Central European country for December 23rd to remember the victims of Prague University shooting incident on Thursday. The decision in this regard was taken after a special cabinet meeting with President Petr Pavel.
We're also asking all citizens of the Czech Republic on December 23rd, the day of national mourning, at 12 noon to pay respect to the victims by holding 1 minute of silence. We have also asked the local officials to facilitate the appropriate steps to commemorate this day of national mourning. We have also asked people to ring the bell at 12 noon across the entire Czech Republic so that through all these actions we could pay respect to the victims.
India's External Affairs Minister, Dr. S. Shankar, has expressed grief over the shooting incident at Prague University. In a tweet, he said, and I quote him, "Saddened by the news of the shooting incident at Prague's Charles University, deepest condolences to the families of the victims." Traffic on the cross-channel Eurotunnel will gradually resume following an agreement with unions. Eurotunnel has confirmed that a last-minute strike by French workers, which halted trains during the day on Thursday, is over. Eurostar said it would resume a normal timetable out of London, Paris and Brussels on Friday. Also, it will put on 2 extra trains each day until Christmas Day to help deal with passengers who could not travel on Thursday. The protest over bonus pay caused massive disruptions on the busy London-Paris route during the day-long strike. Some trains had to return to the French capital just before reaching London, prompting the French government to call the industrial action unacceptable. A quick look at other stories making it to the headlines from across the world. France is planning to close its embassy in Niger for an indefinite period as it is unable to carry out diplomatic tasks due to restrictions imposed by the ruling junta following this summer's coup. French President Emmanuel Macron announced that the ambassador and French troops are expected to leave Niger this month. Hundreds of people marked winter solstice sunrise at a Neolithic monument in County Meath. The tomb is more than 5,000 years old and designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site. During the winter solstice, direct sunlight enters the monument through a small opening in the roof and it illuminates the chamber for about up to 17 minutes. The Berlin Film Festival will honor Martin Scorsese's contributions to cinema with a Lifetime Achievement Award at its 74th iteration next year. He will be honored with an honorary golden beer in the event scheduled on February 20th. With the award, he will join other winners such as Steven Spielberg, Helen Mirren and Ian McKellen and Dustin Hoffman. People in Paris and tourists are stocking up on Olympic merchandise for the festive season with T-shirts, hats, wooden toys. Some customers have placed tickets for the Paris 2024 Olympic Games under the Christmas tree, while others prefer memorabilia of the first time Paris hosted Olympics since 1924. Let's talk of business updates now. Oil prices, which rallied earlier in the week due to concerns about shipping disruption in the Red Sea, fell after Angola announced it is leaving the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, that is OPEC. Angolan Minister for Oil said that the country's membership in OPEC was not serving its interests. The Saudi-led producer group in recent months has been rallying support to deepen output cuts and boost oil prices. Angola produces around 1.1 million barrels per day as compared to 28 million barrels per day for the whole group. The country's exit raises questions about the cohesion and direction of OPEC, even though it is one of the smallest producers and its departure may have a limited impact on global supplies. Thousands of Argentines took to the streets for a second day on Thursday to oppose an emergency presidential decree by new President Javier Milei, protesting against sweeping austerity measures and demanded financial support for the poor. Argentine sovereign debt rose on Thursday and stocks dipped after early gains as market participants cautiously welcomed the decree ending limits on exports and taking other steps to deregulate an ailing economy. The Buenos Aires S&P Marvel Index dipped into negative, while over-the-counter sovereign debt advanced 2.9% after initially climbing as much as 4%. Milei, who has pledged shock therapy to deal with economic malfunctioning, told local media on Thursday that the measures were unfriendly but necessary to fix macroeconomic imbalance. The country has been battling recession, triple-digit annual inflation, and a growing poverty rate. In sports, India defeated South Africa by 78 runs in the third and final ODI of their three-match series. The win helped India clinch the series 2-1. Chasing the set target of 297 runs to win, South Africa were bowled out for 218 in 45.5 overs, despite a knock of 81 runs by Tony De Zorzi. Meanwhile, Arshdeep Singh took 4 wickets for the visitors. Washington Sundar and Avesh Khan scalped 2 dismissals each. The European clubs that proposed forming the breakaway league, which sparked widespread protests among angry fans, had been threatened with sanctions by UEFA if they went ahead with the plan, leading to 9 clubs pulling out. A ruling from the European Court of Justice in Luxembourg stated that world and European governing bodies like FIFA and UEFA had abused a dominant position by threatening the Super League clubs and their players with sanctions and exclusion from major competitions. The European Court also said that the rules that demand prior approval for inter-club football projects were unlawful. The court called FIFA and UEFA's rules relating to the exploitation of media rights harmful to clubs, media companies and fans. Within hours, a new European Super League proposal had been released. That's it in this edition of DD India Live, but let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. You can connect with us on Facebook, X and also Instagram. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Preeti Kaur signing off, and from all of us here in Delhi, thanks for watching DD India Live.